It was a game with a roller coaster of emotions. The Super Eagles were heading for a very comfortable win and a clean sheet, but got pegged back twice by the Tunisians and almost lost 3 points. Welcome to today's video, guys. In today's video, I'm here to do a review of the Super Eagles' second AFCON 2025 group game against the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia, as well as a preview of their last group game against the Cranes of Uganda. So guys, let's get into it. First off, as usual, I always start with the overall team play versus Tunisia. And I thought that when the game started, the first 10 minutes did not give much away. Both teams kind of like sizing each other up. You know, the last time we met at this tournament, everybody knows what happened. We got knocked out by Tunisia in the round of 16. After we were the only team to win all three group games, you know, in our group. And I thought that there was always that fear at the back of the mind of the players, and just that mindset that, oh, this could be a very tricky team to play. And most of the times Nigeria has played Tunisia at any point in time in football history, Nigeria has always been the better team on paper. But for some reason, this Tunisia team just, you know, seem to clip our wings sometimes, you know. Even the head-to-head, I'm not sure if it's in all competitions. I think it's in all competitions, about 21 games. Tunisia had just slightly edges us on that. So it was a game that I feel like everybody who wanted to be fair or who wanted to be neutral or who was approaching it very carefully would have thought that would not be a comfortable win for the Super Eagles, right? So when we came into this game, the first 10 minutes did not give much away. It wasn't until we started to get a couple of chances that we started to look like, okay, we are kind of the ones who are likely to score first. Victor Osimhen, Akko Adams played a brilliant ball into the box for Victor Osimhen's first chance, and that was the ball. That was the header he should have actually scored. He had like 3 headers in that game, and that was the one he should have scored. And then he missed another one, which was probably understandable. And then Akko Adams again played a shot that the goalkeeper saved. Victor Osimhen scored, but that was clearly offside. But along the line of those number of chances, we were starting to dominate. And then it was only a matter of time before, you know, Ademola Lookman eventually played another brilliant ball into the box for Victor Osimhen to score. And it was also another fantastic header. And I was watching the analysis, the studio analysis of that game after the first half, where one of the analysts, who is a former footballer, mentioned the fact that the thing about Victor Osimhen and his headers is that a lot of strikers or forwards would usually try to get in front of the defenders to score. But what makes Osimhen quite unique is that the way he approaches his headers and the way he makes his runs into the box, and just his behavior, like his movement in the box, is kind of like he is going to play off the back of the centre back and the wing back, the right back or the left back, whichever side of the box he's on. Like, he's not exactly 100% interested in getting in front of the defender, but to be at the back, which is where defenders are kind of more vulnerable, because as a defender, once you have to look back while the ball is coming, you are probably in trouble, because it's either you are clearing the ball out or your teammate has cleared it out for you. If the ball is moving in your direction and you have to look back, there is most likely an opponent at the back of you that is waiting to score. So I thought that was some brilliant analysis from that person in the studio. And then, you know, we started to assert our dominance, and this game really made me aware of the fact that we have so much aerial threat in this tournament. And it's not just Osimhen, which is something I'm happy about. The fact that, you know, we scored 2 headers in this game. We scored 1 header in the last game. You know, it seems like we are now, like, this is something I've been talking about, play to our strengths. Like, we should not try to do the things that don't generally work for us. Do the things that work for us. I mean, yeah, let's be dynamic too, but don't play to your strength, really. Play to your strength, yeah. I thought this is something that the coaches probably have been working on a lot, because We have some people who can score really good headers. So I thought that this was something we utilized properly because we scored two headers in the game against Tunisia. We scored one, so we scored three headers so far. I'm sure that's the most in tournaments, anyways, currently. So that's something I really took note of. You know, and after that goal, it was really just everything was Nigeria really, and there was not much the Tunisians were doing. Bali was very comfortable in the first half, and I think we scored the second goal, which was, I'm trying to remember what the goal was. Okay, the second goal was another header, by the way, and then the third goal was Lukman Osimhen assisting Lukman, who assisted him before. Lukman got two assists, by the way. And that third goal there was a chance before that third goal. We just made me feel like Osimhen was trying to be so unselfish that it was probably not a good thing. Because before that third goal where Osimhen fed Lukman the pass, there was another chance for him where Lukman fed him a pass, and as a striker, with an actual striker's instinct, he should have buried that chance. But he tried to find Lukman back, and the chance was gone. But then later on, it was a very similar move again. Lukman found I think was it Lukman that found? No, this time it was Iwobi that found Osimhen, and then Osimhen cut back into the box for Lukman, and Lukman had a very composed finish. He didn't rush it. He was calm, made some body feints to move the Tunisian defenders who had crowded the box because the keeper was all over the place, and he eventually managed to find the back of net. It was a bit of a deflected shot by the keeper. But yeah, 3-0, we're comfortable, we're coasting. I thought, okay, let's keep the clean sheet, And then all of a sudden, Tunisia gets a chance, a set piece in our half. They cross it to the box and they score a header, and it's 3-1. And then all of a sudden, the Tunisian fans in the stands find their voices again. Every move is cheered by them. Everything, every ball they win, every foul they win. It was just, I was like, where were these Tunisian fans while they were conceding 3-0? Because even while the game was still 0-0, they were not even as loud as that. So we suddenly became under pressure. I'm like, guys, this is 3-1. Like, why are you under pressure as if you are a Mino in African football that's about to do an upset? Like, this is an expected win for Nigeria. Like, if you have a good game. So all of a sudden, everything just kind of changed. And I think even before that time, there was this foul that happened in midfield, and the referee had blown his whistle, but the Tunisian players were complaining of advantage. And then one Tunisian player, they just launched a pass, a Tunisian player followed it, and Nwabali rushed out. And I think he probably fouled him outside his box, but the referee had blown his whistle. So luckily for us, because maybe that would have been reviewed by VAR if the referee had not stopped the game, and probably would have been a straight red card for Nwabali. So, but after that 3-1, everything just changed, and it was now, because at 3-0, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was really tired and I was almost sleepy. I was almost dozing off because I thought it was in the bags. There was nothing really keeping me awake. There was no nerves. There was nothing again. I had a really long couple of days and in the past week, so I was almost tired. And when Tunisia scored, my eyes just came alive here. Like, what's happening here? And then before we knew what was happening, there was a ball in the box that I didn't think was a penalty. I think it looked to me like the ball bounced off Bright Osayi Samuel's arm, and I was even surprised this thing went to VAR. And then he went to VAR, VAR ruled that it was a penalty. And that was it. Tunisia got a penalty, scored, and almost go back in the game, 3-2. Now the pressure was even more. Now they decided to play more balls into the box, and then Nwabali would come out for some of the balls. Some of them he messed them up. He couldn't claim them in the air. Some of them our defenders were able to clear, but it was really just chaos from that point on. And then later on in the game, Chidera Ejike got a chance that he almost scored. But I thought that in that time of the game, considering the fact that we had scored 3 and we were almost going to lose our 3 points that were very comfortable, that were almost comfortably secured, initially. I thought that maybe we could have managed that game, just try to pass the ball around and keep it in the corner at 90+5 or so. But like my own idea of this thing is that if you're in a situation like that in any football game, except you have a chance that is so obvious that you are going to score, that is at least 90% sure, you have to just keep the ball until the final whistle. And we're already in added time, so it was not a case of, oh, if you kept the ball in before 90 minutes, there will be some extra added time. So even Nwabali got the yellow card for time wasting. That's to show you how much pressure we're under, just to see how that win. And then Tunisia had another late chance, but ultimately it was 3-2 and the match ended 3-2, and I thought we had a good game. I just thought that, I looking at it now, maybe tactically, I thought that, in my mind when we scored 3-0, I was like, surely it can't be this easy, because I've never expected Tunisia. I was never expecting us to beat Tunisia by that scoreline or by that margin, 3-goal margin. So going off of that, the 3-2 scoreline is not surprising, right? But seeing how it unfolded was what was a bit, concerning, because the fact that you had 3 goals up and you concede 2, that was the part that was concerning, right? The fact that maybe we could have managed the game better. A couple of people questioned why Richel brought a winger while he took off Frank Onyeka and all of that, but I later saw a picture or a video after the game of Frank Onyeka limping. So I don't know, it probably because of injury or something like that. People said, the midfield got a bit weaker and that Wilfred Ndidi was kind of signaling to be subbed off, and he wasn't subbed off, and then Tunisia just overran our midfield in that moment, from that moment on in the game. So a couple of people questioned the Richel's approach to this game. And even before the game started, which is kind of like a reverse, people said, people noticed the change of the formation. Chukwueze went to the bench, and then Onyeka in, and then Zaidu Sanusi, which is one I was actually happy about, because I feel like in the last few games he has been having a stinker. So I don't think he has any business in the starting lineup currently. Zaidu Sanusi was go off to the bench, and Bruno Emachi was in the starting lineup, and people applauded Bruno Emachi for his performance. So yeah, maybe that one paid off. But yeah, overall, I think these things happen in football. And then again, I'm not to excuse, the reason why we conceded 2 goals, but this is tournament football. First of all, first game we had already won. We were probably going to even qualify with 3 points. But then it's 6 points secured now, so it's like, well, we have definitely qualified now, that's for sure. So in the last game, we can rotate and we can rest people like maybe Osimhen, who are kind of like likely to get injured sometimes, especially in high pressure situations that would come up in the knockout stages. So overall, it was not comfortable at the end, but it was nice to see Nigeria scoring 3 goals. Before that game against Benin in the World Cup qualifiers, I can't remember when last I even saw us score 3 goals. So it was nice overall. Sometimes you get things wrong, sometimes you get things right, but the most important thing is that you win the game. So, and in this scenario, that you get the 3 points. So that's just it. So I go to my next prompt, which is the best and worst performance. And I think obviously there's a standout player for best performance, which is Ademola Lookman. 2 goals, 1 assist, beautiful balls into the box. He played very, very beautiful ball for Osimhen to score the first goal, the assist for the second goal as well, from the corner, set piece for Ndidi to score as well. So his deliveries into the box are very, very crucial, and that's something we should definitely capitalize on going forward, and we should work on more in training. We obviously now know that we have a strength with set pieces and we have aerial threat, and that's something we should work harder on to take advantage of the more. In fact, we should be like Arsenal in this tournament, just be scoring goals from set pieces. Like, even if you can't score from open play, just find one set piece, score, win the game. Because another thing now is that the opponents are going to be taking note of these things. So we need to not just believe that it's always work for us. We need to find ways to actually improve that part of our game. So Lookman obviously was a stand-up player, and I think he's finding his form again after a very chaotic summer with Atalanta, his club, where he tried to leave and all of that. They didn't allow him to leave, and he didn't really have any preseason, so he was kind of not match fit. Even in the World Cup qualifiers that we played in September, October, and November, he was neither here nor there. But now he seems to have found his rhythm now with a couple of matches under his belt. So he looks like he's in that form again. He looks like that Lookman of the last AFCON. And so, brilliant performance of Ademola Lookman, who was for me our best player against Tunisia. And then there were other players who had a good game. I think the likes of Calvin Bassey. Calvin Bassey has been very consistent for the Super Eagles actually over the past year, I should say, or he has very consistent. Usually when he starts, he doesn't get subbed off, so that tells you everything. And then Wilfred Ndidi also had a good game until the time he sort of got gassed. Osimhen could have been better. The chances that he missed, that first header especially was a chance that Osimhen would score on like 90 days out of 100. So that day happened to be one of the 10 days where he probably wouldn't score it. So yeah, I think maybe Calvin Bassey outside of that. The worst performance, it's hard. I also still don't think there was a worst performance today, but Stanley Wabali still gives me cause for concern, because when he comes out of his post, you look at it and you're not sure if it's 100% a rational decision he makes. For example, that chance where Tunisia had, where the referee had blown the whistle for a foul on the Tunisian player around the midfield area, and they didn't hit the referee's whistle. They played the ball to the ball. I mean, the Nigerian defenders had stopped running anyways, but they played the ball to the box and Nwabali ran out. And he didn't run out because he wanted to collect the ball as in, okay, referee has blown the whistle, let's stop. He ran out because, I don't know, he in his head thought this ball was still on, which is not a bad thing, right? This ball was still on. Go out and, but he made a mess of the situation. And luckily for us, like I said earlier, the referee has stopped the game, so it didn't affect us in any way. But it could have been a potential red card if that was not the case. So outside of that, there were also a couple of chances, especially late on, where he came out to claim the ball at a certain point and he goofed. So I'm not very sure about, like, when we are under pressure, especially because when Wabali sort of had his breakout season or his breakout year at the last AFCON, it was a couple of games where even when we conceded, most of the overall play from our opponents was not dominating over us like that. So Wabali did not really face occasions where he was constantly under pressure. So that's what I'm worried about. In the games where we can't control, where we are under so much pressure, can we rely on him? So, and then who else? I'm trying to look. I can't really find any. I think again, maybe like the last game, there were people that just had average performances. So yeah, I don't think there was any worse performance. Yeah, so that's really. To preview the game against Uganda, I think this is a really straightforward thing. You need to rotate. 6 points, round of 16 secured. So I don't know who we're going to face yet at the time of recording this video, but obviously we need to rest players. We need to rest Victor Osimhen. That one is a no-brainer. Osimhen, for some reason, he gives so much to the game at times that he pushes himself too much, and in high pressure games could get injured. So Osimhen obviously has to sit on the bench in the next game. Maybe Wilfred Ndidi as well. A couple of players who have played 90 minutes. Maybe Lookman. In the next game we can play Akko Adams. We can play Cyril Dessers. We can play Moses Simon. We can still beat Uganda with our second team anyway. So I don't know, even if we draw that game, I think we are still going to top the group, right? As long as we don't lose, because Tunisia have 3 points as well. So it's not really much to look into. The game against Uganda, we need to rotate players, rest Victor Osimhen, probably rest Lookman and a couple of players that have played 90 minutes. You know, approach the game with the same intensity anyways, because you still want to win regardless. You want to do a professional job. Use the game to also, and this is from an NHL perspective and NHL point of view, use the game to also like prep for the round of 16 and try a couple of things. So yeah, really just don't lose anyways. Worst case scenario in that game should be a draw, and if, with that we should top the group. Yeah, so that's just it for the game against Uganda. I heard that there's a guy in the Ugandan team who is whose name is Uche Ikpeazu, who is of Nigerian and Ugandan descent. That was interesting to see yesterday. So yeah, that's just something I noted, and he's probably going to play against us because he scored for Uganda the equalizing goal against Tanzania. So he's probably going to play against us. So it would be nice to see him play against us. And yeah, that's just where I bring today's video to a close. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for subscribing and for liking and sharing. If you enjoyed this video, please share to all football fans and all sports fans and everybody basically. And until I record my next video, as usual, I said December will be busy on my channel. It's bye for now, guys. Ciao.